Hey guys, welcome back to That's on Lauren podcast. I am Lauren Miller. I'm 18 years old. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a political science major with a minor in theater. If you're into Enneagrams, I'm a 3. If you're into Zodiacs, I'm a Sag. Again, I'm Lauren Miller. This is That's on Lauren podcast. If you're new, welcome. Like I said, I'm Lauren Miller. I've said it about 6 times now. And if you're not new, welcome back. Guys, so music this week. Nobody dropped any new music, but I guess I'll go with some oldies. It Won't Be Long, Refresh Worship featuring Enrique Holmes. Love him. That's all I got. Shout out to Refresh Worship because they won this week. That's all I got. I didn't really. No. How? Whoa! Forgive me. How could I not mention The Church I Grew Up In by Tasha Cobbs Leonard? That song makes me cry. If you know me, I'm a thug. I don't cry. That song tore me up. It tore me up the night of. I was in there crying. And John Hannah Church, I was in there crying. And I was in my dorm room crying today. I love that. Song. And it's written by Anna Golden, who is like hands down one of the best songwriters I've ever heard, especially in this generation. Like she got next, bro. Like she's so good. I love the way she tells stories in her songs. Like I love it, and it's catchy. I love the notes that she chose for certain words. Like I just think she did an amazing job. I think Tasha did an amazing job executing the song, and so many people can relate to it. So those are definitely the top 2. Shout out to Enrique and Tasha. There we go. Boom. Guys, this week was the second week of school. And boy, I tell you, I think I told y'all last week about how they was playing with my money. We got that sorted out. So I will be getting my check September 9th. Hello. Thank you, Lord. I'm really excited about that. And I think more than anything, of course, college teaches you a lot more. More than anything, I think that I'm just learning more about myself. I'm learning more about the world, and I'm just learning, constantly learning. I can't speak for a lot of you, but I know for me, I go to a big school in my city, my hometown, and so I knew I was going to see a lot of people here from, middle school, high school, elementary school, all those kind of things. I believe we're the biggest school in this state. If not, we're number 3. One of the websites says 1, the other website says 3, so it's one of those. But all of our campuses combined, there's 6 here. All of our campuses combined, 52,000 students. So yeah, we're a pretty big school, and the Atlanta campus is the biggest campus. In my housing dorm alone holds 1,100 people. 1,100 people. So and I'm in one of the, I'm not in a big dorm per se. Like, there's one across the street that holds, I believe, 3,400 something. I don't know the exact number, but yeah, so I knew I was going to run into people from, growing up, but I think now that I'm here and now that I'm growing every day, and I think one thing that has helped me a lot is when I'm around other people, I observe. I observe a lot. If I've been around you more than once, I could probably mimic you. I'm like the best mimicker you will ever meet. I can copy the way you sound. I can copy the way you dance. I can copy the way you look. I can copy the way you sing. I can copy the way you move. I'm really good at, observing people. But when I'm alone, I have time to analyze, think, process, and that kind of thing. And I think being in a dorm, especially in my own bedroom, gives me a lot of time to think and process. Of course, it comes with cons, but positivity. I have time to process. And I think one thing that I talk about it all the time, but it's different when you talk about it and then when it actually hits you smack dab in the face, that a lot of people that I grew up with or just even we're cool with in high school, we're not that close anymore. I mean, not that we were ever do you hear that, Atlanta? Jesus Christ, so loud. Hopefully you guys, it doesn't pick up, but we'll see. Oh my God, they're so loud out there, y'all. But a lot of those people that just a few months ago we was kicking it in school every day, making snaps and all the other stuff, don't even talk. And I see you. We may speak, we may not. Or one thing that kind of pisses me off is that I don't do well with people who think that jokes or like, you know, getting along is like poking fun. Like I feel like making jokes with somebody, teasing somebody is one thing, but if you bullying or embarrassing people is your way of like being their friend, or just you being a bully in general, I don't like it. I've never been a fan of it. Like, you know, those people who like, if they know like one of your guy friends, you know, didn't get their haircut, they're gonna take his head off. I've never liked those kind of people. I've never liked it. Like, and there's just a lot of people here doing that. And I'm not with that. Or like a lot of them are, it's raining, I'm not going to class, or it's too hot, I'm not going to class. Like, come on, bro. Like, but I'm really excited. I gotta be careful about what I say. Because the people at the school find out I have a podcast, so I don't want to say too much, but I will say that I am monitoring, Jesus Christ, I can't speak, very closely the company I keep, because I think I'm very good at playing the game, you know, like kicking with you and then, you know, not really talking to you, but I don't want to be that way. Like, I don't mind doing that for, you know, like career reasons or homework reasons, but I want to build genuine friendships and things like that. I haven't found them just yet. I mean, there are some things that, yeah, I'm very selective when it comes to people that I consider a friend. Now, people that I consider like, oh, we're cool, we can, you know, go to a movie maybe, or, you know, talk or chat on the way to class. Of course, like those people, I've met people like that, but in terms of actual friend, I hope my friends in high regard. Like I if you're my friend, if I consider you a friend, there's a standard that you must meet at all times. And just because you think we're friends, not mean that we are friends. And if you ask me for friends, I'm gonna give you a true answer, and I'll never forget. Like, I was that one girl in elementary school, middle school. The girls would be like, "Are we friends?" I'd be like, "No." I've always been that way. Like, and it's not a bad thing. We can still kick it, but if I consider or label you a friend, there are certain things that just, like, I would even say there are people who I consider like brothers and sisters, and there are people who I consider friends, and there are people who I consider both. Like, there are levels to this thing. But yeah, this is the end of week 2. I'm feeling pretty confident about this semester and things I'll be able to accomplish. I think, I don't want to speak on it too much, but I think I'll be doing an internship with, how can I say this without saying it? A black history maker in Georgia. Let me put it like that. I'm not sure if you guys can hear what's going on in the background. Hopefully not, but we're just going to talk through it. Welcome to Atlanta downtown. But yeah, and this week I just want to talk about acceptance. As you all know, I'm very transparent when it comes to my journey, and mentally, emotionally, whatever. And I am in therapy. I have therapy every week. I love my therapist. I told you that as well. I think she's the bomb diggity. She laughs at me all the time because I'd be like, preach. She'd be like, oh my Lord. Like, I love her. I love our time together. I wish we could have longer and more sessions a week, but you know. And during our therapy session, you know, we always get to some good stuff. And there are 2 things in particular that we hit on that I really want to talk to you all about. Because I just feel led to. The first thing was, you know, we talk heavily in my sessions. We talk heavily about my parents and the way I grew up, because in my opinion, I don't know if this is everybody. I feel like, well, the way you were raised affects like and shapes you as a person. That's everybody. But I feel like specifically, my parents and the way I was raised and all of that affects me. I'm not going to say more than others, but I feel like it definitely affects me heavily. It heavily affects me for sure, without a doubt. Like, yeah. So we talk about that, you know, a lot, and I was just, you know, after our therapy, I had a moment, because I'm like, I think I'm getting to the age, you know, you'll see a lot of people post like, oh, I never got, my parents did this until I got older, and then you apologize and telling you love them and all of that. And I think that or even I saw one of my favorite influencers on Instagram, business owners. I think she's a boss, Dana Chanel, on Instagram, and she was just talking about her. You know, her mother was a single mother. She raised her and her sibling, and you know, at the end of the video, she said, my mother is deserving of my grace. And I realized that, and it makes me want to call her and apologize, all that kind of stuff, right? And I don't know if it's the way I am or I haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't feel that way. I think some parents do the best they can. I think I genuinely feel like my mom did the best she could. You know what I mean? But I feel like sometimes your best is not good enough. I'm not saying my mother in particular. I'm just saying in general, like everybody. Sometimes your best isn't good enough, and I feel like the goal for most people is to grow and evolve, and your parents gave you a pretty good childhood. You try to give your children a better, if not the same childhood, and so on and so forth. And you just want to keep going, keep growing, keep evolving. And I think that I got really sad, not sad, but okay, here's the thing about me. If I cry, I consider it sad. I'm not a crier. So when I cry, it feels like a big moment. So let me just clarify. I was not like in my room, like shut up in my room, like depressed, but I was crying. So, in my book, that means sad. I'm working on that with my therapist. Amen. All right. Good off me. Not too much. Because I was like, there are certain things that, or how I was raised, that I don't want, the way I'm feeling in this present moment about a certain situation or certain words, I never want my children to feel this way. And it brought tears to my eyes. Like I was crying. I don't cry, y'all. Like I was crying. Not, this was after therapy. Sidebar, I've never cried in therapy yet. Am I doing it right? Everybody I know cries in therapy. I haven't cried yet in therapy. There have been a couple times where I could have cried. Like I felt the water come out my eyes. But I'm like, okay, I haven't cried in therapy. Anyway, but yeah, this is after therapy. I was just reflecting on some of the things we were talking about, and I'm like, it brought tears to my eyes because I'm like, how I'm feeling in this present moment, I would never want my child to feel. And I think I cried for 2 reasons. Actually 3 reasons. One, the feeling that I'm talking about, it feels bad, forget the children. For me, I don't like this feeling. It's sad. It's hurting me. 2, I think that we all agree that there are things that we don't necessarily like about our parents that we all end up implementing. I won't talk too much about it, but my mother had a very difficult childhood, and the older she gets, she's like, I act just like my mom, or certain things that you see that your parents did that you now did. It might be the phrases that you say. It might be the way that you look. It might be the way that you respond to certain situations. And so I think that that in some ways you're going to end up like your parents. I mean, they literally they make up your DNA. It's inevitable. And so I think it scared me because I'm very, if you know me, I'm a goofball, but I'm very passionate about children. And right now in my life, I do want kids in the future. Right now, maybe during the line, I don't want any kids anymore, but right now I do want children, and the thought of putting pain on them or putting trauma on them or that feeling that I was feeling in that moment, passing that on to them, it just, oh my God, I was just so upset. I just couldn't shake it. I would never want my child to feel hurt, but I feel like, is it possible to raise a child without traumatizing them in some way? Even the best parents I got, even the ones that write the manuals and write the books on it, you can do the best job, know all the science to it, but is there a possible way to not harm or hurt your children in some way? And I'm not saying, let me just clarify, I have a great mother. I think a lot of you listen to me. I know a couple of you personally. You guys have great mothers. And, you being traumatized does not mean that your parent did a bad job. Everybody's traumatized by something. You know what I'm saying? Is nobody can be perfect. We all respond to and react to situations differently. And so it's not like, if you're dealing with trauma or something sad, that means your mom or your father, whoever raised you did a bad job. Not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that we all are different. We all receive information different. We all respond to information different. And some things hurt, some things sting, some things stick with you, whatever. And just back to my point, I just can't imagine, putting that on my kids. It just hurt me. I don't know. Yeah. And then thirdly, is thirdly a word? Whoa. Thirdly is a word, right? Anyway, I was going to say lastly. Lastly, it was just the thought of I've already expressed to you all that forgiveness is not my strong suit at this current moment. And so it's like the way that I feel towards certain trauma that's happened to me due to my parents, like the anger or frustration, the sadness, whatever that emotion is, like the fact that I don't have the, I guess I can say, ability to forgive or to give them grace. Like, is there something wrong with me? Am I wrong? Are they wrong? Are we both wrong? Like, should I be able to, like, that feeling of giving them grace, is that a feeling that everybody has and I'm just out of order? Like, what, what's going on? Because for me, when she was like, in the video, I don't feel like talking about it, but in the video, she was like, my mother deserves my grace. I'm like, no, she don't. Like, and of course, people always say I felt the same way until I had children, but I just think that deciding to have children is a really big commitment, and I don't know. I take it very seriously, and like I said, right now I do want to have children in the future, and I just cannot imagine. Parents, y'all are bold people. Y'all are bold. Y'all are bold. Shout out to all the parents out there, and guardians, because that's wild. Like, raising a whole human being. Yeah, absolutely not. That is to encourage me. If you're out there like me, you're abstinent, and you're getting weak in the knees, just think about having to raise another human. It'll get you right. There you go. You're welcome. And the second thing that we hit on in therapy was vulnerability. This is hilarious. She recommended that I go to group therapy at my university. They offer counseling and things like that. She offered that I went to group therapy to work on my vulnerability. I literally laughed in her face, and she knew I was gonna laugh. She was like, oh my god. She was like, but the fact that you didn't shut it down immediately, like, that's growth. I was like, I know, right? Like, we were talking about that, and she was just like, some people go to therapy, like group therapy, to build boundaries up and learn, how to tell people no and shut people out. And then she said there are people who go, to knock those walls down. She said, you are far from needing any more boundaries, Lauren. And me and her started laughing. Like, she was like, you don't need any more walls, any more boundaries. You're good on that, honey. Let's reel it back, And we're laughing about that. But at first I was a little taken aback, because from my knowledge, when you think of group therapy, I think of people going to group therapy for a certain reason. Let me try to put this in a way that's not offensive. When I think of group therapy, I think of, like, okay, alcoholics are going to group therapy because they're all alcoholics and they're all recovering, like recovering addicts. Or I think of, like, domestic violence or childhood, I don't know, SA, victims. I don't think, I was like, I told her this, but I said verbatim, I was like, I'm jacked up, that's why I'm here, but I don't think there's just one big event or one, addiction that has just changed my life. Like, you know what I mean? She starts laughing, I'm laughing, and I'm just like, there's plenty of stuff that I could talk about, but there's not just one big thing. And she was like, no, Lauren, like, I'm going to group therapy, all of my coworkers at the office are going to group therapy, like, it's just a space for you to feel open and free, and vulnerability is something that I do struggle with. I've told you all about that, and how that affects my relationship with God and my family and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that she recommended me group therapy, for a second I felt like she calling me crazy, and then we talked about it, and I was like, okay. And but the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because there's a certain I don't want to. My peers are listening to the podcast, so I don't want to say. Okay, let me just put it like this. I'm a person that's very big on routines. I'm very big on, like, I'm very detail oriented. Like, I have a plan for everything in my mind. I may not say it, but, like, for the most part, I have a plan for everything. I'm always thinking. How people just be like, oh, I'm not thinking about anything. I can't relate to you at all. I'm always thinking about something. It could be about the way the moon shine. I'm thinking about something at all times. And so I think sometimes people, them being playful or them being, like, expressing interest in friendship or whatever, their way of doing that is annoying you. I don't like to be annoyed. Do not annoy me. Like, why are you doing that? And so sometimes things that may seem minute or small to others feels big to Lauren, because Lauren would never do that to others. So for example, I'm not going to say the example that happened just in case those people are listening, but I will say this. Like, if I know that you eat strawberry Pop-Tarts every day and we're in the dining hall and you're right behind me and there's one more strawberry Pop-Tart left, and then there's like a bunch of cinnamon. I love cinnamon and strawberry, honestly. But anyway, and I know that you only eat strawberry every day, and I eat cinnamon, or if they have strawberry, I eat strawberry. I know you're behind me. I'm gonna make sure that you have your I'm not gonna take the strawberry and then look at you and say, "Oh, hey, by the way, like, I had the last strawberry." That would piss me off. Like, why? Like, and I think to the average person, it's like, no, like, that's no big deal. To me, that's a big deal, because I just think I try my best to be considerate of other people. That thing just triggered me. Oh my God. I think something that brings tears to my eyes, again, I don't cry very much in public. I cry to myself all the time, but I try to be considerate of other people. I try to show up for people. I try to let other people know that I'm there for them. And so when it's not returned, or when I feel like you're purposely trying to annoy me or piss me off or whatever, it upsets me. It gets me, pretty angry. I don't like it. I just don't. And it's been happening sometimes, like the smallest things. They don't ruin my day, but I don't want to be your friend if you purposely piss me off. Like, why? Especially since considering I don't even know you. And I could see if it was like annoying things, they're things that genuinely like piss me off, and then you have like the audacity to ask me like, "Are you okay?" No, you just pissed me off. Like what? Like, you know what I mean? But I'm trying to decide: is that me not being vulnerable? Is that me overdoing it, or is that just how the way I am? Like, that's why I brought that point up, because I don't know. I don't want to just be like overly like, no. The smallest things throw me off from meeting new people, but at the end of the day, I'm just big on being considerate. I'm big on like routine. I'm big on I'm looking out for you, so I expect that same thing in return. And I think one thing that I struggle with is like both my therapists, the one I had in the past and the one I have now, they both have told me that you struggle with putting expectations on people that they haven't put on themselves. So for example, we'll just stick to the Pop-Tart example since we already talked about it. If I would do that for you, I expect that you would do that for me. And they're like, "That's not how the world works, Lauren," but that's how it works in my head. And so I don't see how that doesn't work though, because when you this is a whole different topic I'm talking about, but it all kind of ties together. There's a situation I'm not gonna go into depth just in case the person's listening, and at the core of the issue, I just feel like when you are anticipating or expecting something, whether it's spiritual, physical, whatever, you prepare for it. What do I mean? If you know that you're getting if Ashley Home Store, Ashley Furniture, whatever it's called, Ashley Furniture is delivering your new bed frame on Tuesday at 9 a.m., you're not going to still have a junky room and your bed frame at 9 a.m. Why? You're expecting a new frame, so you prepare for it. If you know that your mama coming to pick you up at noon on Tuesday, you're not gonna take you to, I don't know who do y'all young kids listen to? NBA YoungBoy. Not a fan, but anyway. If your mama take you to NBA YoungBoy concert at noon, for some reason he's having a 1 p.m. concert, she's gonna pick you up at noon. You shouldn't be waking up at 11:59. You know why? Because you're expecting to get picked up, so you prepare for it. And so there are situations where people are supposed to be expecting me or expecting something, and I feel like they didn't prepare for me or prepare something for me. I'm just trying not to be too, in depth. But I just feel like when you expect something, you prepare for it. If you expect, for God to, come in the room, you make room for him to come in the room. You don't just, like, it just, to me, I just don't understand how you could anticipate something or expect something and then not prepare for it. Because in my mind, that if you're unprepared, that means that you weren't expecting anything. In this case, you weren't expecting me. You weren't expecting what I was bringing. You know what I mean? And then to get offended or to get upset that I decide not to go to that place or not to do that thing. This is hard to not talk about directly. Oh God. Okay. I hope I'm making sense. But you getting upset that I choose not to do this thing or to come to this place, to me, is like, you don't have the right to be upset. You weren't the one that was ready for me, and then you told me to come to a place unprepared, or you told me to do something unprepared. I don't know. Y'all, the way I think about things are just so different. Like, I feel like nobody thinks like me. Like, I just think I have a very unique way of thinking. But that's the bar of this pod. When you are expecting something, you prepare. That's a word. No, it really is a word. When I was expecting to move into college in my dorm, I prepared by packing up my room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, Lauren, let it go, honey. Let it go. 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 Okay, I'm done. Yeah, but overall, it's been a pretty good week. I ordered some, y'all. If you listen to this pod and you go to Georgia State University, tell me where you can get some fried heart lemon pepper wings in a mile radius of the school. Matter of fact, 5 mile radius in the school. I grew up in Atlanta, well, in Georgia, and we have some of the best wings. I heard Memphis has really good wings too. We have some of the best wings, like, in the city of Atlanta. Not necessarily like where I am, but in the city of Atlanta, we have some of the best wings. I have not had any wings that were smacking. I done tried 2 places. I'm not gonna say any names, but it rhymes with turban without the T. And their wings were not good. They were over. I like my wings fried hard. They were burned. There's 2 different things. And then there wasn't even that much lemon pepper. It just wasn't good. The chicken was weird. Ill. And then the place, if you're on campus across from Central, that wing place that's next to the original hot dog factory, I'm not saying any names. They were okay, but they wasn't really smacking how I really wanted them to smack. Somebody said to try Wings R Us, but it's like 25 minutes out. I probably have to DoorDash that. But anyway, I'm done ranting, y'all. Today was a good week. This week was a pretty good. Why do I keep burping? Sorry, guys. This week was a pretty good week. If I had anything inspirational to say, I would say, when you're expecting, oh my God, Lord, I hear you. When you're, stop pictures me. When you're expecting something, prepare for it. If you're expecting to get good grades this semester, prepare for it. Do your work, do your homework on time. If you're expecting, I don't know, a significant other, prepare yourself to compromise. Prepare yourself to be loving and vulnerable. If you're expecting, I don't know, healing in your body, let's not, do bad things to our body. I'm trying not to be too. If you're expecting, I don't know. What do people be expecting nowadays? If you're expecting a lump sum of money, let's not blow the money we have now. Let's be responsible. Let's prepare. Let's put in an initiative. Let's be considerate of others. Let's do that this week. I'm really excited. I'm about to start week 3 Monday. I'm ready, man. I made a mistake. Oh, I guess I'll tell this last quick story and then we can get out of here. I made a mistake. I have 1 class Monday, 3 classes Tuesday, 2 classes Wednesday. Okay, this is confusing. Tuesday and Thursday is the same schedule, 3 classes. And then Monday and Wednesday the same class, except I have 1 GSU required class. It's like a freshman orientation class on Wednesdays. And then I have 1 online class, so I have a total of 6 classes, right? And I know I had homework for U.S. history, which one I love history. This class, she's a really cool teacher, but it's boring. Maybe it's the way she teaches or the way the textbook is. I've been bored out of my mind. But anyway, I knew we had homework for her class, and I knew I would have homework for my online class. Well, I made the mistake of not doing my homework throughout the week because I knew it would be next week. So I was just like, I was doing my math homework every day and SCOM homework every day, but I wasn't doing the online class or the U.S. history homework every day. And now I have had about 18 hours of homework. That's a true story, because each chapter they're assigning me is an hour worth of reading. I've been playing the audio version of these chapters for U.S. history, but some of the other textbooks don't have the audio versions. I have to read it myself. If you're not in college yet, you're coming to college, my tip for you is to get your reading stamina up. Because Chile, the way I thought I had a good reading stamina, I love to read. I thought I had good stamina until I got to college. This stuff is boring. Anyway, yeah, I made the mistake of not doing all the homework, and now I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna treat my online class as if it's a class during the day. Like maybe I'll do it Monday and Tuesday, Monday and Wednesday, since I don't have that many classes that day, and do the homework, because then it'll feel like if I bite off a little bit every day, it won't feel as much, and it won't mountain up into one big, long assignment or assignments. So there's my story for the week. Be prepared for the things that you are anticipating and expecting, and be considerate of others. We're gonna be good. This is gonna be a good school year. If you're in high school, man, if you're a senior in high school, enjoy this last year. It's gonna fly by. I used to hate people said that, because I'm like, you're a liar. Like, no, it's not. It absolutely did. Enjoy that time. You don't have to be sad over the transition of you coming to college next year, but just enjoy it. Enjoy the time. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your environment. Enjoy it all. Take it all in. Learn. Grow from it. Be prepared to be organized. Start being more independent this year. That way it's not such a big culture shock next year. Be on top of your work this year. Nobody has to, be on their way to your college next year. But yeah, prepare, be considerate, and I will see you all next week. Thank you all for listening. Love you guys.